Recently, we did a Sudarshana Homam in our new home, and this is special for a lot of different reasons. First one being that, of course, it's a Sudarshana Homam. It's a blessing to be able to bring God into your home and have a priest invoke God and have, the ability to receive his blessings. And the second reason is I grew up watching these homams. Both my family would, host them all the time in our house, and then I would see family friends do the same. And so waking up early, getting all the material, cooking really early, and serving it to everybody, having God bless our home, bless our food, bless the people. It's always been a really big part of my childhood. So to be able to do this now, my husband and I were looking at each other and we were like, all right, we are the adults now. We have to be the ones to conduct these homams and understand the meaning so we can, pass it forward and start integrating it as a part of our life. I always felt like growing up, my parents just so seamlessly brought us in as children into these celebrations. And I think that's a testament to having religious practices so seamlessly, and routinely a part of their life. So in order for us to kind of carry the same mentality that both of our sets of parents have, it's important for us to start doing that now. It was really special. We had a lot of people come over and, people got to see the new home. Obviously, we have a new background happening here. That, along with just the Sudarshana Homam in particular. Now, this homam means a lot to me. I remember it was maybe last year where we had this homam at my parents' house. I felt so cleansed after the homam. I don't know exactly if I verbalized my intention going into the homam itself, but coming out of it, I felt like a brand new person. That, along with my childhood memories, provided this connection to Sudarshana Homam. Narasimha and just understanding the story of the Sudarshana Chakra, those two things were really pivotal for me in my spiritual journey. About last year, it was really important and special for us to be able to do something like this for our home. So this video is going to be an explanation of the Sudarshana Homam itself, the stories behind it, and I have included quite a few vlog clips as well. So we're doing a different style to these types of videos. And I have a lot of us preparing for the homam and the homam itself. And then we'll recap at the end and talk about just the importance of carrying on familial traditions.
Should I buy this?
Yeah. What else do we need, Amma?
We need plates,
cups,
all the nuts.
Yes.
This is his breakfast thing, and this is his lunch cup, and all these are Japanese cereal cups.
Oh, please.
For breakfast.
இது வந்து சீதாப்பழம்.
இது எவ்வளவு இது?
$20.
Oh, that's very good, very cheap. எதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுறது?
Heating things
நம்ம
up.
வீட்ல இருக்குல்ல நிறைய.
அதுக்கு ஐக்கியா தான் லைக் சின்ன ஹிட்.
ஸோ இதை வந்து இப்படி சாப்பிடணும், எடுத்து சாப்பிடு. வெங்கட், சீதாப்பழம் நீங்கள் சாப்பிட்டதே இல்லை, ட்ரை.
There's a seed.
சீட் எடுத்துடணும். Obviously, you take it out of here.
Whoa.
Burst of flavors இல்லை.
இதுக்கு வேற ஏதாவது பேர் நம்ம ஊரில்
சீதாப்பழம்
இல்லை. நாங்கள் வந்து
அயங்கார்லாம் வேற பேர் சொல்லுவிடா.
ஆமாம், நாங்கள் வேற
அயங்கார்லாம் வேற பேர் சொல்லுவா. ஐயர்லாம் சீதாப்பழம் சொல்லுவோம். नहीं क्या जब जननी இது சாம்பார் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் ஆக்கி வச்சிருக்கேன். அப்புறம் இது வந்து பெப்பர் ரைஸ். அப்புறம் இது வந்து கேபேஜ் கறி. இது பீன்ஸ் கறி, சவுச்சோ கூட்டு. அப்புறம் சக்கரை பொங்கலும் நாளைக்கு பொங்கல்.
Lyri goes, your wife's father-in-law is your dad.
I've got my sari ready to go for tomorrow. All my jewelry. Just left this out for ease. Probably gonna do my nails right now because they look really funky, but maybe we'll see if we get to it.
The Homam itself is around the Sudarshana Chakra. As you may know, the Sudarshana Chakra is a weapon. But what I'm actually going to do is take a step back and we're going to talk about Narasimha. He is an avatar of Vishnu. You have to know the story a little bit here. And if you know the story of Prahlad, you know that this was a young boy who was tormented by his father, Hiranyakashipu. I'm not going to get into the entirety of the story of Hiranyakashipu yet, but you know that he is a very, very bad person. And he was a very bad king. And he had all these rules on how he could prevent being defeated. Those rules included, not being able to be killed by a human, a god, an animal, or a demon. He couldn't be killed indoors or outdoors, not during the day or the night, not on land or in the sky, and not by any weapon. So he had all of these different conditions. Meanwhile, he's tormenting his son Prahlad because Prahlad was chanting Lord Vishnu's name continuously instead of praying to, in a sense, his own father. And Hiranyakashipu, just being the man that he was, wanted every person in the land to fall at his feet. So to see his own son fall at God's feet was an ego disturbance, to say the least. So with all these rules in mind, Prahlad was getting tormented quite a bit. And when he was saying Lord Vishnu's name, Narasimha came on the spot. And I'm oversimplifying the story, but the point of this is that Narasimha manifested himself beyond all of the conditions. So he was a half man, half lion. He appeared at twilight. So, that met the condition of not during the day or night. Hiranyakashipu was killed on the doorstep, and Narasimha placed Hiranyakashipu on his lap and tore him apart with his claws. Now, his claws, we talk about nails being kind of dead in a sense. If you were to cut your nails, you don't feel any pain, but it's also alive because it's part of your finger. So when he ripped him open with his claws, he demonstrated his ability to surpass all of these conditions, but he also demonstrated that he was able to appear on Prahlad's will. Another thing about this is some say that the Sudarshana Chakra was inside of his nail. So his nail was imbued with that energy of the Sudarshana Chakra. And so during the Sudarshana Homam itself, what you're really praying to is to have God come into your home so that he can destroy all of the evil that's in your home, the bad juju, any negativity, no action, no harm can be done onto you. Praying to Narasimha, he's the only avatar out of the Dasavadaram that appeared, instantaneously. Other avatars lived an entire life. We think about Rama, we think about Krishna, right? They lived entire lives. They grew up and they were children to adults. Prahalad teaches us an important lesson of always having Bhagavan in our mind and in our heart. And the more we do so, the more we can strengthen our connection to God. And this is especially important as we live our day-to-day life here in the Kali Yugam. And the more we experience trials and tribulations, we see the pain of others, we see the suffering of others. It's important to think about God and think about the peace that he brings you as well, so that you are able to radiate that peace for others. And Prahalad teaches us that no matter the tribulation, no matter the happiness, we think about God. And we allow for God to take away our suffering instead of kind of keeping it all on ourselves. Narasimha embodies this raw power that vanquishes all evil. And then the Sudarshana Chakra, often called the Chakrathalwar, is a disc or a weapon of auspicious vision. It symbolizes the eternal cycle of time, the ability to cut through ignorance, the power to cut through ignorance, and acts as a divine shield to safeguard all devotees. Together, Narasimha and the Sudarshana Chakra can destroy all negativity in the hearts and minds of the devotees. This is a little bit of why it's important to keep these prayers and keep these rituals in mind, so that we are not embodying fear. We're not embodying the negativity. We're allowing for it to let go by participating in rituals, by participating in, prayer. It's important to lean on something, lean on someone. And this homam allows us to do that. Don't know how this angle is gonna work, but this is very low. I'm very low to the table. So I would say the reason why I want to do this Sudarshana Homam is really enjoy this homam in particular. I always have a really purifying feeling. Now that we're in this new home, I felt like, obviously besides the Graha Pravesam, that this should be one of the first religious functions that we do. I just want to be able to host these things and get in the habit of, being able to host. So like knowing what goes into it and the amount of preparation needed, like you'll only know when you try. I wanted to try, and obviously I have my parents to support me and assist with everything. Obviously they're doing that right now as I casually get ready. My mom was like, just go upstairs and get ready. So I'm lucky that my parents are very supportive and come and fly and my mom cooks and everything. I do expect myself to rise to the occasion next time. Oops. It's just, I'm very lucky to have the parents that I do because they very much support all of these things and know a lot of information about how to host homams, and they've done so many in their life. But anyway, I'm really excited. Most of the people who are coming today haven't seen the house before. Actually, we haven't really called anybody to our home yet. It's just not been ready. Not that it's ready now. It's a little bit better than it was. I'm gonna do very light makeup. I don't wanna do a lot. I just wanna keep it modest, keep it clean, but you know, since it's my first time hosting these many people in this house, I do wanna look a little awake. I do have like a really pretty sari. I wore that sari for my vratam during my wedding, and I haven't worn it since then, but it's like this really pretty purple pink color. Because I have it, like look how this is, if you see my sari, this is like the exact color. I feel like my nails kind of match too, but they already chipped just from doing like minimal cooking work this morning. I didn't even do that much. Very pink and very sparkly. All right, well, I just said I wasn't gonna do too much, and here I am. Wait, no, it's not. Oh, it's right here. Oh my gosh, so I had like all these bathrooms, right? And they're special because they're from India. And I think we like seriously doubt our abilities to be responsible, which is like so silly. And yesterday morning, like we woke up, right? And I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, where are these bathrooms? And I looked everywhere. Like my husband was on his way to work. I called him, bothered him, freaked everybody out, made everybody panic. And it was where it was supposed to be. It was in the Perumal room. Like, it's insane. I did that because I don't trust myself or trust us to unpack properly. And like my husband pointed it out, he was like, we just don't trust ourselves. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty sad. I don't know, me looking for my eyeliner reminded me of that. How long have I been filming? 7 minutes? No, not my iPhone tripod.
Yeah, I know. It's in your office.
All right, can we bring it downstairs so that Amber knows to use it?
Okay.
She's tasked to film today. This is like a gray brown. I don't know if I like it. I think that looks a little bit more normal. Whoa, she's large. Oh my gosh, my hair is so big. All right.
गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्पदे परमगुरुभ्यो नमः परमगुरुभ्यो नमः अस्पदे सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः यस्याभवत् भक्तजनाः आज्ञहन्तुः पितृत्वम् अन्येषु विचार्य तोरणं स्तम्भ अवतार तम् अनन्य लभ्यं लक्ष्मी नरसिंहं प्रपद्ये
இங்க ஒண்ணு பாய் கொடுங்க நரணி வாங்க
நீ பாடிடு
each of the slokams here up on the screen. Now we'll go line by line and explain each of the meanings of the slokams. So the first line, Shreem Hreem Kleem, are bij mantras or seed sounds, and each of them carries a very specific vibration. So the first word, Shreem, is the sound of abundance and prosperity. Hreem is the sound of divine energy and protection. Kleem is associated with attraction and devotion. So together they set the spiritual tone and call in the divine blessings. The next line is a salutation to Lord Krishna in his most beloved forms as Krishna himself, as Govinda, the protector of cows, and as vallaBhaaya, the beloved of the gopis. This connects the mantra to Vishnu's nurturing and loving aspects. The third line is a recognition of the Supreme Being, the eternal soul beyond all limitations. It acknowledges Vishnu as the highest reality. The next line is incredibly powerful. It's asking the Sudarshana energy to neutralize and destroy harmful actions, negative mantras, misused spiritual practices, poisons, weapons, and attacks from any direction. It's essentially the shield of protection from seen and unseen forces. Mrutyor Mochaya Mochaya is a plea for release from untimely death and suffering. It's asking for freedom, not just from physical harm, but from any cycle of negativity. Om namo bhagavate, maHaa sudarshaNaaya Deeptre. Salutation to the great Sudarshana, the divine discus of Vishnu who destroys evil and protects its devotees. This next line invokes the fiery, blazing nature of the Sudarshana Chakra. It's like a divine fire spinning in all directions, warding off negativity, purifying the space, and creating a balance. Hampat is a seed syllable of power. It cuts, burns, and dissolves obstacles. The last line is a closing. By recognizing Sudarshana as the supreme light, connecting to the Sahasrara Chakra, or the crown chakra, and reminds us that the ultimate goal is not just protection, but illumination in union with the divine light. We say these slokams 108 times.
The offerings that we make into the fire is used with the word swaha, and swaha means to consume. And it's also the name of Agni's wife. Fire consumes the offerings, delivers them instantly to the divine through the smoke from the homa. This is a symbol of surrender, trusting the divine, and then just simply offering devotion.
பெருமாளுக்கு தேவதைக்கு வித்தியாசம் என்னன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, கீதை பெருமாள் தேவதாக பரஸ்பரம் பாவம். பெருமாள் அம்மா அப்பா மாதிரி, நம்ம எது கேட்டாலும் அவள் பண்ணுறதை பண்ணிகிட்டே இருப்பாள். கொடுத்தாலும் கொடுக்காட்டும், அவளுக்கு நம்ம எதுவும் பண்ணணுன்ற அவசியம் இல்லை, எதிர்பார்த்தெல்லாம் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருப்பாள். ஆனால் தேவதைகள்லாம் உங்கள் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் மாதிரி. அவள் 2 வாட்டி பண்ணால் நீ 1 வாட்டியாவது திருப்பி பண்ணால் தான் பண்ணுவாள் இல்லையா? தேவதாக பரஸ்பரம் பாவம் இருக்கு. கிவ் அண்ட் டேக் பாலிசி இருந்தால் தான் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட பழக முடியும். தேவதைகள்லாம் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுன்றதுனால அவள் நமக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணணும்னா முதல்ல அவளுக்கு உண்டான எனர்ஜி அவளுக்கு கொடுக்கணும். நம்ம என்னதான் சக்கர பொங்கல் பண்ணி முந்திரி போட்டு எல்லாம் பண்ணாலுமே வேதவாக்கு தேவதானம் ஆஜ்யம் ஆகாரம். ஆஜ்யம்னா நெய் அவளுக்கு பிடிச்ச வஸ்து, அதனால நெய்யால் ஆஜ்யம். அப்போ அந்த அக்னின்றவர் தான் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இன்சார்ஜ். அவருக்கு கீழே ஒரு அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்குது. அந்த டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டை வச்சுட்டு நம்ம என்ன கொடுக்குறோமோ அதை கொண்டு போய் டெலிவரி பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறோம் இல்லையா? அப்போ முதல் எனர்ஜி அவர் கொடுத்தாங்க. அதனால முதல்ல அக்னி பிரதிஷ்டை பண்ணி அக்னிக்கு என்ன யூஸ் பண்ண போகிறோமோ அந்த வஸ்துக்கள்லாம் சுத்தம் பண்ணிட்டு அக்னியில் எது சேர்த்தாலும் கான்சியஸாக சுத்தமாக சேர்க்கணும் இல்லையா? அப்போ எல்லாத்தையும் சுத்தி பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் முதல்ல ஹோமம் ஓம் ரம் அக்னியே ஸ்வாஹா ஃபஸ்ட்டு அவருக்கு எனர்ஜி கொடுத்தாச்சு இல்லையா? அடுத்து நம்ம என்ன ஹோமம் பண்ணுறோமோ அந்த ஹோமத்தை பண்ணணும். அக்னி ரெடி ஆகிட்ட நம்ம ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறது. அந்த ஹோமம் எதாக இருந்தாலுமே தெரியும். சோஷ்மாவம்னா சோஷ்மாவம், லட்சுமிநாராயணம் லட்சுமிநாராயணம், விநாயகர் கணபதி ஹோம்னா என்ன பண்ணுறோமோ அந்த ஹோமத்தை பண்ணணும். பண்ணி அதை யாரெல்லாம் அங்கே ஆவாகனம் பண்ணியிருக்கோமோ அவளுக்கு உண்டான ஆவத்திகள்லாம் அந்த மந்திரங்களோட இங்கே பண்ணி அவளுக்கு அக்னிகிட்ட கொடுத்துட போகிறோம்.
I think one of the most important things about practicing these traditions on our own is integrating it into our life seamlessly. And yes, it's to pass it on to the next generation, but honestly, it's also just to allow it to be a part of our life. We live very hectic lives, very busy lives. All of us are working and, keeping up with family, friends, our hobbies, work itself, eating right, working out. The list really goes on our obligations, and finding space in that to be spiritual, I promise you, allows you to have more ease in all of our tasks in the day. I have found that the more spiritual I become, the more I lean to God, the more I have God as a support system, the more I feel less burdened by my tasks, and I can allow for my karma to be karma yogam, which is just being able to surrender the tasks and the fruits of my labor to God and say they're not mine to begin with, so I'm not having more attachment to this plane. I want to leave you with some parting thoughts. I will say that rituals to me are not just about being able to connect to God on an individual level, but it's allowing me to connect to my lineage, allowing for my practice to be reflective of my family's traditions, connects me to those who have come before me in a much bigger way, and gurus that come before me in a much bigger way. And I'm continuously reminded of the lessons of humility when I do so. And there is no perfection on the spiritual path. However, I have found that the more I partake in spiritual practices, the easier it is to fall back to it. If I just started one fine Monday and said, I'm going to do all my things and I'm going to be the most spiritual person I can be, it's very hard to keep up with. Rather, me kind of adding one tiny little thing year by year has allowed me to at least have something that I do on a daily basis. Continuing what our ancestors did and allowing for us to pass that on would be a privilege and an honor in this Kali Yugam. And I keep coming back to that because it is really difficult to continue to practice your spirituality. Back in the day, it was a little bit easier with the lack of distractions, but I kind of believe at this point that every time period has its own struggles and own reasons as to why it was difficult to connect to God. I mean, we're talking about a supreme being. I can't imagine it always was super easy. Maybe in the Satya Yugam where the pathway was a little bit more clear. But when I think about like my grandmothers and my great-grandmother or my great-great-grandmother, like they were all within these 5,000 years in the Kali Yugam. So if I know that my grandfather and my grandmother were able to maintain spirituality and my parents are able to maintain spirituality, I really don't feel like I have much of an excuse. And I think every generation has its own struggles. And for us, technology, distractions, the world kind of feeling like it's always going to end, those are our struggles that we have to deal with. And it's important to remember that our soul chose this body in this time period to experience it because it knew that this set of circumstances was what it was going to allow for the soul to evolve. So anything I can do to honor that commitment that I made to this body and in this time period, I think I'm going to take. And whatever I can do to make it easier too, and that means connecting with family, doing my rituals, doing the practices, having honest conversations with my husband about spirituality in all shapes and forms. That's all a part of it. So the more we live it, the more transparency we build with our own self, and the more honest we can be about where we're at. It's very interesting. Since the Homam, it feels like life has felt a little bit easier. It's like kind of like we were on a train and like we greased the wheels. Is that the right saying? I don't even know. But it feels like something has just been lifted and it feels a lot smoother is what I'm trying to say with my poor analogy. I feel like things just feel a lot easier, and it feels easier to take action. It feels easier to connect. It feels easier to engage in spiritual conversations. This wouldn't happen without my parents. I literally said that during the video itself, but like I'm just really lucky that, I have my parents' support, my in-laws' support, my husband's support, friends and family that always are there for us to be able to participate in these things. And Kiran and I feel very blessed on a daily basis with our parents and the fact that we have a close relationship and feel like we can always come to you with anything. So if you're watching, thank you for assisting with the homam and being there. I mean, we wouldn't know what to do without you. So thank you for showing us and allowing us to practice what it's like to, to be able to do such a thing. And I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it inspires you to add one spiritual ritual into your day-to-day life. If you need assistance or want suggestions on smaller steps, I have lots of videos on karma yogam and getting better and taking the first step towards spirituality. So check it out. But if you have specific questions, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to address them. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you in the next one.